Guys, welcome back to the Independent Investor Channel. How many of you guys out there actually feel like you're successful? How many of you guys out there have actually experienced some success in your life only to see it lost? How many of you guys have hope for the future? Guys, I've seen this topic done many, many times about positive and negative thought as it reflects to rich people and poor people in this world. And I really want to do a deep dive into how positive and negative thoughts can be identified in your own personal lives. And as you sit through this video, ask some rhetorical questions of yourselves. How many of these attributes do you feel from day in and day out? Do they consume you a little bit? Do you live more on the positive or negative side? And make no mistake, guys, I think there's not one human being out there that is either one or the other. I think everybody experiences some level of positive or negative thoughts. I think the real telling feature in this is through this evaluation, as we kind of talk along this model. For you guys that are visual learners, you're really going to appreciate this, is that if you are consumed by negative thought most of the time, it's really going to be apparent when you start asking these questions of yourself and you start analyzing what would be the opposite of the negative thought that has just kind of become natural to you. How does it affect your day-to-day operations? How does it affect your aspirations going forward? And I really want a lot of you guys to assess. I do this all the time, but I've made the comment many times on the channel that I really feel successful. I felt successful for the last 20 years. And I just want you guys to feel the same way. The less that I focus on the tangible aspect of money, money, money all the time, and tend to focus more on my inner makeup, my preparation to become wealthy, my program, the more successful I feel like I am. And I think there's really something to be said about the disconnect between always just aspiring for the hard money, right? The cars, the houses, the success, the vacations all the time, the potential of quitting your job. Are those realistic? I think they can fit in the category of having dreams and aspirations and that, but it can't be your exclusive day-to-day operations. It really can't. So guys, if you enjoy the message, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the message that we're putting through on the channel, we talk mainly about investments, but really it doesn't do any good to pursue riches if you're not prepared to receive those riches. So I drew this on the board to kind of give a visual representation for you guys. If you have the opportunity to really hear me out on this topic, I touch on it every now and then. And as your injunctions come, or injections in life come, they're going to hit on one aspect of this, and it really comes down to how you handle those. If you have something come up where you have an unexpected expenditure, you can really look at that from either a positive or a negative. It really just depends on how prepared you are mentally to deal with those influences as they come in on your life. And this positive representation really is aimed at representing those folks that can take any injection, whether it be of a positive or a negative connotation, and have it hit on their pie somewhere in the green, baby, somewhere in the positive. And this is all I ever wish for anybody out there. And a lot of you guys may be a 50-50 mix. I know I'm one of the most critical of my own capabilities. And I know I've got more red in my particular model, but I'm working on it. And I contend that everybody can improve upon this. I left a little bit of negative in here, but because I still feel like even those radically successful people can fall victim to negative thought if they allow it to become, and they forget some of this that's really got them to where they've become in their life. If they've enjoyed some success, or they've had a little bit of luck in their life, or they've worked really, really hard to accumulate some level of success at whatever level, or whatever your definition of that is, right? But I left this piece here to really represent that there's always there's always a potential to have some level of negative creep into your life if you allow it to do so. The power of the mind is very, very interesting when we talk about this topic, because I think anybody, if you took two people and you took the same injection in life and you applied it to two different people, the mental makeup can actually determine where it shows up on this potential pie and how it actually can either negatively affect you or potentially positively affect you. Now, I'm also not saying that there couldn't be somebody over here who really is consumed by negative thought, but maybe just by nature of the timing, by nature of the injection itself, can't turn that right around and make it a positive aspect in their life. Very, very important. And that really kind of comes down to my belief that there is hope for all people. All people. Now I'm going to run down a list of some positive attributes. I'm just going to run through it rapid fire, and hopefully as you sit there and listen to me fire these positive attributes at you, some of you guys can resonate with those. Goals. Goals is super important. Do you aspire to something greater in your life? Appreciation. No matter how little or how much you have in life, do you appreciate what you have? Are you flexible? Do you have the ability to listen to another perspective and hear that out with the potential of reaching a greater good, perhaps something greater than your own opinion? Are you flexible in receiving new ideas? Are you evolving? Do you have the ability to evolve, or do you become more stoic as you get older in life, man? You can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? If you're one of those, right? Let's work on those things. Every single one of you guys are a human being sitting back listening to the message. Can we polish some of these attributes? You bet we can. We sure can. And the idea isn't that you're not over here on the negative side of the spectrum and not here, but to identify these different attributes and when they kind of come up in your life. Are you reflective? Do you have the ability to reflect back on your mistakes, learn from them, perhaps maybe for future potential? Very, very important. Are you focused, or are you all over the place? Are you black and white, or are you more of a gray person, right? Just kind of going with the flow. Everything's kind of okay. Your opinion's okay. My opinion's okay. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't, right? Very, very important. Positive attributes. Fitness. How fit are you? When was the last time you thought about your diet? When was the last time you actually went to the gym? I can tell you, for me personally, guys, there's not one singular attribute to my life that contributes to my high wiring more than physical fitness. Getting out and abusing myself, and I can't tell you how much that allows me to transition from negative thought to positive thought. It makes me less irritable at work. It makes me deal with injections. It doesn't matter how big the problem is. I can take it in stride. This is a big one. And this is where I really wanted to include this on the positive. I don't know how many people out there who have achieved riches in life are physically fit, or they do yoga, or they do martial arts. I don't know, but I would venture to guess that a lot of those people have a very regimented physical fitness program in their life. How does this relate to investing? It relates to everything in life. If you're constantly over here, how are you going to expect to make an investing program a positive thing if you don't have any of these positive attributes? And physical fitness is just one of those things to where you can be like, you know what? I'm starting right now. Guys, I'm going for a 5-mile run after this video. Why? Because it's like investing in myself. It has nothing to do with investing in a stock and sitting there hoping that that stock goes up. It has nothing to do with that. What it does do is it allows me to be physically capable and physically fit to receive whatever results come out of that stock investment, right? We do away with this and we're able to receive whatever results come out of our investment program. Very important. Perseverance, another one. Do barriers get you down? Do they hold you up? Do you dwell on them, right? Do you persevere past that stuff? Very important. Are you proactive? Do you take a proactive posture? Okay? Do you try different things only to fail and then pick yourself back up and keep going? Very interesting. That can fall under here, right? A negative injection, but it falls into the positive category here, again, for you visual learners. Do you have values? What do you value in life? Do you value your own health and well-being? Do you value family? Turn those values into a positive. They should be nothing other than just that, all right? Spirituality. That is individual for all people, but that can really, really help answer why it is we're doing what we're doing and help offer some validation for you. Do you have meaning to your life? Meaning to your life. Now, a stock portfolio is not going to give you meaning. It's not. Stock investing is actually fairly shallow. Anything that we're talking about with regard to wealth creation and money and currency, that's super shallow, guys. Okay, it really is. It's important, but it's a shallow topic, and it is what it is. You talk about spirituality, now we're talking very, very deep. Where are you at on the spectrum? Are you of a negative connotation when it comes to your own spirituality and understanding why you're doing certain things? Or are you over here and you can say, you know what, Ryan, I can give you an explanation as to exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. Open-minded. Do you have the ability to vet information critically and potentially deploy, or even more importantly, the potential to discredit? Open-minded, right? You don't receive everything and deploy everything, okay? You're critical of information. You're curious. Are you curious enough to seek out new opportunities, or are you happy being in the rut? I would contend that there's a lot of folks out there, married, single, whatever, that have been doing an investment program for their entire life, and I would say that those folks could be incapable of changing. Is that negative? It could be. It could be, and it could be very expensive in the long run if they're not willing to be open-minded and be critical and curious enough to maybe take a hard look at their program, all right? Have some hope for the future. Being realistic, okay? How realistic are you with your situation? If I'm always listening to positive wealth creators or motivational speakers, what does that mean for me? If I can internalize and make it good for my life, then it's good. But if I go pay $5,000 to listen to a motivational speaker and I leave that auditorium not changed at all in my approach to my day-to-day living, then what good is it? All right? So being realistic about your own situation. If you're starting with $3,000 in your investment life, don't be that person that says, it's only $3,000, I'm late to the game, oh my goodness, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have started earlier, I'm so late, do I have enough time? That's all over here, right? Instead of taking that same situation and saying, I've got $3,000, I'm going to make a go at this. I'm going to make it as good as I can. I'm going to do tax protection like Ryan's talking about. I'm going to know that I'm wealth preserving my money. Quite frankly, I know that I'm entering into the stock market in the correct manner. Take solace in that and be over here on the positive side, okay? All that other stuff you can't control, all right? But you can look at changing your today for tomorrow's results, all right? Having hope, having some humor about this. Geez, so many people are so serious about the topic. I'm serious, but when it comes to my own money, I do have some humor about potentially entering into a program and having some fun with it, okay? It's all right. Humor and having a positive aspect has everything to do with the humor that you have between us. Know that there's a potential in your program when you introduce the stock market to your finances, that there's a potential that it can go up or down. Don't let it get you down. Don't enter over here into the negative category. It'll just drag you down. And success. Successful people, I believe, have a positive outlook on life no matter what their level of financial is, okay? I know people with money that are miserable, okay? Now, you never hear from those folks. You typically hear a lot. The people who are the loudest are the people who have what they consider a lot of money. Here's the thing. Reputation is not determined by an individual. It's determined by others. That's the beauty of it, all right? So no matter how successful you've dubbed yourself to be, and I'm talking about a lot of those people out there that are selling their program out there, I'm successful, therefore you need to follow me. The interesting part about that is you don't get to self-dub yourself successful. The people who follow your program and have become successful, those will be the people that determine your level of success, not you, all right? Now, getting on the negative side of the house over here, we've got self-deprecating. I get this all the time, Ryan. I can't do it. I don't have enough. I started late, right? Transition over. Are you one of those people that are in that camp? They create barriers. So when something negative happens and it comes up, it typically has the potential of falling into the negative category more often than not. Those are the barriers that are created. They're dismissive. They hear a new idea, that can't work. It didn't work for my neighbor, it can't work for me. That sounds terrible, Ryan. Ryan, you've got it all wrong. Ryan, that's not right. My way's right, your way's wrong. Dismissive, that's of a negative connotation. Shallow people who don't really have a whole lot of meaning below the surface as to why they do what they do. They dwell on failures. They're empty. They can be somewhat static. Okay, they can be happy with where they are no matter where they are, okay? Whether or not they're happy or sad, they're just static. They're not moving in any direction, all right? Investing can do that, whether or not you're moving down, with the potential of someday moving up in the market. That's kind of why we invest, right? They're afraid. Sometimes people are afraid of success. And those people, if you're afraid of success, then you need to get that mental aspect right, because in fact, if you trip and fall into some level of success, you're going to give it all away anyway, because you're not going to be mentally prepared to accept whatever level of success life bestows upon you. It's going to be really difficult for you. Negative people are somewhat closed. They're reactive, right? You ever, guys, the stock market courses online, right, where you pay $1,000? Bam, that's the easy way I can do it. I can pay that $1,000 and I don't have to go through the mental barriers that I have. I'm going to pay that money and therefore I'm going to become successful. Those people are typically always disappointed in the decision that they've made. So they're reactive. They're content. They're content with where they are. Feeling of hopelessness, all right? They dwell on the past. That's a big thing. Let it the freak go. Let it go, guys. It's fine. They are influenced and they are susceptible to some level of temptation out there. They're not guarded. They're not focused like positive people are. And I'm not saying you're not open with restrictions, okay? That's a great way of putting it. But guys, I hope you appreciated this visual representation of positive thinking versus negative thinking in relation to what I feel is all too often broadly determined by the rich and the poor. I think that's very shallow, and we have to do a little bit deeper dive in understanding that certain rich people are over here. Certain poor people are over here, and they're seeking whatever avenue of success they're looking for in life. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video. If you like the message that we're putting through, don't hesitate. Hit the subscribe button. You'll be notified of future videos. Hit the thumbs up button. Help us support the channel. Leave your comments at the bottom in this video. I'd love to generate a discussion, a community discussion. And I just want to remind everybody that we do a Friday live stream, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Come in, get some positive reinforcement. That group is bleeding positivity. And I tell you what, the live stream that we do every Friday, we live in this world over here. We don't focus on this negativity over here. And I think that's why a lot of people tune in and get that positive reinforcement so they can refuel their tanks to make sure that they're on track for the long term. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the video, and good luck in your investment future.